on my Disney animated classic list is Fantasia, which is actually one I grew up with. I had this one on VHS. I don't remember watching it that much because Fantasia is just a series of shorts that are all joined together with an orchestra. So an orchestra they'll cut back to an orchestra. He'll introduce the next sketch, they play classical music, and then there's no dialogue in this. The only dialogue comes from the orchestra, the conductor, or actually it's not even the conductor, it's just the guy introducing everything. Or there's a small bit with Mickey, but otherwise it is all music, sound effects, and that kind of thing, which for a child, as I was of course growing up with it, it wasn't really that interesting. I don't remember enjoying Fantasia much. I remember being scared by the dinosaurs, possibly also by the devil on Bald Mountain at the end of it. But I only remember liking, obviously, the Sorcerer's Apprentice sketch, which is obviously the most famous sketch short from Fantasia. The one, the music everyone recognises, the hat everybody recognises, it's plastered all over Disneyland, is the most famous image of Fantasia. And for some people that could be enough to watch. Just I think I remember when I was a kid I did just used to skip to that that short and that was it, which was a bit harder on VHS than it is with DVDs. But having rewatched it a couple of times since I was a kid, there is more to enjoy for an adult. This is very much, I think, an adult movie, a Disney movie, weirdly, because I can certainly see adults enjoying the music, the animation more than kids will. Kids will enjoy the sort of bounciness of the colours, and for scenes that have that, like with the ostriches bouncing around, and the centaurs, the centaur bit with Zeus trying to kill them with lightning bolts. That's actually a good sequence that sort of builds up quite well. And the idea of like rainbows, like a woman's a rainbow and a sun is a rainbow. Everybody is every natural phenomenon is actually a person underneath it, which is actually really, really creative. And I think that's what it is. It is a very creative film with the use of the music and the imagery. The sketches, the shorts I probably like the best for the most part is, of course, other than Sorcerer's Apprentice. I don't actually know the name of any of them, but I do like the one with the centaurs. I can appreciate the dinosaur one a bit better as an adult. As a kid, that used to scare me. The idea of, because you had a Stegosaurus and a Tyrannosaurus Rex fighting each other, the Stegosaurus dies, and then you've got all the dinosaurs getting wiped out because the planet is overheating and they're all dying from starvation and dehydration. And it's, as a kid, that was just horrifying to see. These poor creatures dying that way. And of course, and as an adult, you can kind of appreciate again the sort of, I suppose, the artistry, the music, and the way it's told and everything is better as an adult. But it's still it is still sad. The whole devil, I think of it as the devil on Bald Mountain, because you've got him being all evil and raising the dead and making people dance, and they're naked even. It's very, like I said, this is why I say the Fantasia is more for adults than it is for children. That scene is quite terrifying for a kid, but for an adult, I actually did enjoy it a lot more. Then when they bring in the whole heavenly music that sort of puts him to sleep or destroys him or whatever, that bit's fine, and then it goes on a bit long, and I'm not really one for that kind of music or anything, so I just kind of found that dragged. I also wasn't a fan of the ballerinas, the dancing ostriches and then hippos and all that. I just couldn't see myself invested in that. So I think Fantasia is, like I said, it's very creative. I like the idea of it. It's maybe a bit of an odd one to have done where they did it, if that makes sense, because of course they had just done two very popular, very, very successful animated films with a proper story, with a proper three-act structure, I suppose, whereas this one is all short, and it's very different. And I think that's probably why, because I think at the time it did actually flop, because they were going to do a fair few of these. But instead they only did the one, and we had to wait till 2000 for there to be a Fantasia 2000, which I have not seen, which of course I will get to. So, yeah, I could sort of see why it might have flopped, and why they had to sort of go back to the cutesy, well, princesses as well as cutesy animals, which of course will come to the next one I'll review. Because I don't really have much else to say about this one. There aren't any. Obviously, it's all pieces of music. So there's not really favourite character and favourite music like I was going to do. So the best I can do is favourite character, I suppose, was Mickey, because, you know, who doesn't love Mickey? And favourite piece of music, again, would probably be The Sorcerer's Apprentice. That is the most iconic, memorable scene of the entire film, to be honest, and for me is the only one I really would care about rewatching, if I was completely honest. So yeah, there you go. So the next film is Dumbo, which is actually one of my favourites, so I will enjoy talking about that one. So until then.